Hey, and welcome to today's live. And you'll be wondering, how on earth am I supposed to say that you're contributing to your child's misbehavior? Like, somebody will say, "Do you know my child? Do you even know how what my child does and all of that?" Relax. It's going to be a very short conversation, right? But by the time we'll be done, you understand the important roles or the things you've been doing wrongly that have been making your child to misbehave, or sort of encouraging your child to misbehave. And so, excuse me, my name is Chioma Okoli. I am the founder of the Expectant Parent Academy. And just if you're wondering what the Expectant Parent Academy is, the Expectant Parent Academy is a coaching outfit for parents from expectancy to the first 6 years of raising their children. Why the first 6 years? Why from expectancy? You may want to know. The reason is I've been married for 5 years. By November this year, I will be married for 6 years. My husband and I will be married for 6 years, and I have three children. Okay, from my own experience and the experience of the people I know, I understand that the first 6 years of a marriage comes with a lot: career change, relocation, trying to understand the person you're married, trying to understand what will work for you. And before you get to understand all of this and your partner, the children starts coming. For most persons, the children starts coming. And you're in the midst of a whole lot start going on. And most of us get distracted by this a whole lot. And we don't give our children the foundation we need to lay in the first 6 years for them to thrive in the years to come. And so here at the Expedient Parent Academy, we'll be talking about things relating to parents, things parents of children within the age of 0 to 6 can do, and then parents or couples who are expecting things to make your journey easy and fruitful. All right, so you're welcome to today's section of our Monday Live. This holds every Monday, okay? And like I say, we're talking about how are you making your child misbehave. Don't worry, by the time I mention the first five, they're just five, and then I'll tell you what you can do in place of it. And it's something that has been working for me, and I'm sure it will give you a perspective to something you probably have been battling with your child. Okay, so children, like adults, thrive in connection and attention. If you connect with your child well and you give your child attention well enough, that child will thrive. Your relationship with your child will be fun, easy. Um, what are the other words? To be fun, it will be easy, it will be interesting, literally. Okay. So children, like adults, thrive, our relationship with them thrive on connection and attention. You want to have that as the first fact you're leaving this class with. Okay. All right. So if you want your child to move from the place of always misbehaving to the place where you interact better, then you need to focus on connection, you need to focus on attention. All right. So what is the first thing you are looking at that you've been doing that is causing your child to misbehave and you've not given it a thought? Now, the first one is you've always failed to read and understand your child's facial expression when when you're interacting with him or her. Yes. Psychologists and researchers have given enough attention or enough time researching on facial expressions, both in a child, both in adults, and in various situations. In fact, people who study facial expressions are so good in it that they can tell you when somebody is saying something they don't mean, and they can differentiate between that an individual that is lying and an individual that is saying the truth. And these are individuals they've not met before. That is to tell you um how approachable or how concrete reading facial expressions can be in your interactions with people. And so for us parents, if there is one person we should give attention to when we're interacting with them with regards to looking at their face and reading the expressions there, aside our spouse, the next person or persons is our child or children. And it is what it is. Okay. So if you fail to give attention to an extent that you can make meanings from your child's facial expression, something is missing and you want to get that which is missing. So looking at your child's face when you interact, it can let you know when your child is misbehaving or speaking out of exhaustion, out of hunger, out of fear, out of anger, or out of rebellion that you didn't give him the attention that you've given to the sibling or whatever it is. So reading and trying to understand the facial expression on your child's face is one of the things that you need to give attention to when you're interacting with your child. If you are able to make this distinction, right, you'll be able to know when your child is crying for spoon, whereas what your child actually needs is cup. Instead of saying, "Why are you telling me to give you spoon?" or "Why is this spoon that you want?" You can give your child cup, which is actually what he or she needs. And that ends the misbehavior or the tantrum in that instance. And when the misbehavior ends, then you can teach the child how to say, "It is cup I want and not spoon," in other instances. Of course, I'm using cup and spoon as an instance here, not like children would just come and say, "I want spoon," and it's cup they want. I believe we understand that. Okay. So the next thing you probably have been doing that is causing your child to misbehave is you've been insisting on your own perspective. You've been insisting on things being done the way you want it, simply because you're the parent and you feel you're the one that should be in charge. You feel you should call the shots and all of that. Well, there are times when you should really call the shots and insist on it, especially when your child does not understand the repercussions or the consequence of what he or she wants to do. For instance, you're walking with a child along the road and the child wants to be moving into the road. The child doesn't understand that a car can hit him or her and a lot can go wrong. So in that instance, in instance of life and death, you can insist on your own, right? But in little things, why not be flexible? I'll give you an instance. This morning, my niece was preparing my son for school. My son is 4 years, by the way. So when she was washing his face, something happened, and my son said, "You rubbed soap on my nose." So when I came around and I heard him saying that, okay, I met him in the bathroom. He didn't want to come out because he was still expecting the auntie to settle with him. So he was standing in the bedroom. So I went and I said, "What is it?" And she said, "My auntie put soap in my nose." I was like, I asked the auntie, "Which one is putting soap on nose?" The auntie said, "No, she didn't put soap on the nose, that she was washing his face and he didn't want her to wash the face. He wanted to wash it by himself." Yes, the young man has started wanting to beat himself. We are still teaching him, but he hasn't gotten to the point where we can let him bait completely. So, and then in the mornings, we haven't gotten to the place where we can also allow him to do that because there is time to meet up. Okay, so my niece was saying, "No, I didn't rub soap on his nose. I was just trying to wash off his face," and he was protesting that he wanted to wash it by himself. I said, "Okay, that is your explanation," but he's understanding it as you rubbed soap on his face, on his nose. And I said, "Okay, the two of you should settle it. The conversation between the two of you, so the two of you should settle it." And then the auntie said, "No, I didn't mean to rub soap on your. It's just that I was washing your face and the nose and the soap was on your nose, and then I washed it with water and all of that, and that was it." So when my son was in the bedroom, he had tried telling the auntie that she rubbed soap on her nose, but the auntie said, "No, I did not." And that was an issue between the two of them until I came around. I was going to pick something, and then I saw what was going on. So the point is, sometimes you think you're wanting to feed your child is you doing your child some good, and your child, you wanting to show love to your child, but your child is feeling caged. The little man or little woman wants to feed him or herself, but you are insisting on having it your own way. And in the instance I gave about my son and what happened between him and the auntie this morning, in the auntie's mind, he's misbehaving, he's resisting getting ready for school early enough. But if only she had tried to see things in the little boy's perspective, hey, I wouldn't even have seen him standing in the bedroom and asking what was going on. So, and most times as adults or as parents, we just want something in a particular direction. We just want something in a particular line. And if it is not in that line, we have to insist that the child is misbehaving. But most times it's not the case. We are just not seeing things from the child's perspective. And one thing that is key in raising children within the first 6 years is that we are big now, even if you're not tall, but we are big compared to them. And so we see things from that big perspective. They see it from their own little perspective. So if you can imagine a child looking up to see your face when you're standing, that's how their mind and ours is not the same. That is in some cases. In other cases, their mind can actually be better than our own. Like they could give you suggestions that you'll be like, why didn't I think about this all the while? It happens. So the point I'm trying to make is sometimes when your child is insisting or is trying to throw a tantrum or is a kind of protesting to something you've said, especially when they've given you an option or alternative to what they really want, how about coming down and saying, okay, if what they are saying isn't wrong in itself, how about obliging them? It will save you the time you spend with dealing with tantrums and other misbehaviors. And for some of us who don't go well with noise, you don't want somebody screaming for a reason that you can prevent or for a reason that you can resolve immediately. So I think that throws a lot of light on the second point that um, you're insisting on your own ways is one of the ways you're making your child to misbehave without knowing it. All right, so let's look at the third one. And the third one is your child is acting out in revenge or in retaliation from the closure you failed to provide in a previous conflict. For instance, let's go back to the scenario between my son and his aunt this morning. Now, if I hadn't come around, my niece would have probably stayed in the room and be calling his name. Come and dress, or come and dress up so that you go to school, or come and dress up so that you can eat your food. But the young man will not come out. Of course, I know my son, he won't come out until he gets that closure on that conflict. So when you fail to provide a closure in a conflict with your child, that child will revenge. That child will protest. And that protesting is taking your time. That protesting is going to test your patience unnecessarily. So you want to take as little time as you can in settling or providing closure in conflicts with your child. Don't think it's not this young human being. What can he know? Or what does he know? What does she know? They know a lot. You are simply not aware that they know a lot. Okay. So not providing closure is a big deal. I know that as adults and in talking about trauma, we talk about providing closure a lot. So, in settling misbehavior with your children or with a child, you also want to bring closure. And let me bring in school scenarios for a moment. Many teachers find it difficult to control the behavior of their pupils in classroom. But for some others, it's not the same. One of the implicating factors to this, I mean, to the teachers who find it difficult to control the behavior of their pupils in class, is because they've had several issues or they've had issues with the teacher in the past, which they feel was not settled properly. And so each time the teacher is giving an instruction, they are wanting to assert the fact that a closure was not provided in the previous conflict they had, or in the previous conflict they witnessed the teacher handle with another pupil who probably may be their friend or may not. So providing closure is very important, because in the classroom and with the teacher pupil instance that I gave, the teacher will only be seeing that this particular boy or this particular girl doesn't take instruction, or this particular child is always making noise, always looking for trouble and all of that. But the teacher doesn't know or would not recognize that he or she played a crucial part in getting that child to be where he or she is in the relationship with the teacher in the class. And so if you think about such news as students beat up teachers, or pupils did this one, or pupils being silly around their teachers, or I've heard the story of um, pupils who placed gum on their teachers' seats, and so when the teacher sat, the teacher couldn't stand up, or something like shifting the teacher's seat and all of that. What exactly do you think went wrong? Yes, I understand that there are children who, because of the environment they grew up and because of who raised them, do things that you won't think an adult, you don't think a child will think of, right? However, they don't do the same thing to all the teachers. There are still teachers that these same pupils or students respect and honor, and they take their word for it. And in fact, they are so thoughtful of this particular teacher that they want to do everything to make that teacher happy or impress that teacher in the presence of the teacher. What's the difference? Closure. If you have a conflict with a child, and you don't settle that conflict to an extent that the child feels, this person is fair, this person is reliable, this person is a just person. The child knows. The child may not tell you, I don't trust you, that was unfair. He may not have the vocabulary to say that, or he may not have the face to say that to you, but in his actions, in his or her actions, you will know that. And if only we recognize that I've done something that resulted in this, then your child will have less misbehaviors or tantrums. Okay, so what's the fourth one? The fourth one is you are emotionally unintelligent. Yes, emotional intelligence is not just a reigning word that coaches mention because they want to collect your money and all of that. Emotional intelligence is as key to life as or is emotional intelligence is key to progress as much as IQ is to academic success. Yes, it's that important. And why I said progress in life, of course, raising successful children is part of your progress in life for a parent. Of course, of course, of course. Guinness World Book of Records, right? May not call any one parent for being the best parent, but let me say it here that raising successful children is a big thing on your progress journey, on your progress map. So if you're a parent listening to me, you want to be very serious that whatever you're doing today, that when they add up, they're going to give us a child. Us, yes, we in the world that didn't have your child. Your child was given to you for the world. And I always say that your child was not given to you for you. The child was given to you for the world. So I am saying you want to be sure that whatever you're doing today is something that is going to add up and give us a child or an adult that is successful tomorrow. We've had enough of adults who neither have head nor tail. We don't want any more of them. So please help us by raising successful children. And just in case you don't know how to do this, the Expectant Parent Academy runs the early years parent coaching program for parents with children within the ages of 0 to 6. We do this because we understand that the early years may be difficult or is difficult to really understand what does my child need at this particular time. And so in the early years parent coaching program, every day we'll give you tools of something you can do with your child to create connection and give while giving your child attention at the same time. Remember at the beginning I said that children, like adults, their relationship with children, just like adults, thrive on connection and attention. And that's why when you're walking into the bank or when you're walking into a restaurant, the person at the door or the guard by the door will greet you and maybe say, welcome to so and so bank or welcome to so and so restaurant. Why? The person is building connection with you. The person is trying to make you feel relaxed, like feel I'm in a safe place. And then by the time the person opens the door, the person is giving you attention. You feel it and you feel good. And when you walk into the waiter side or the section where you're going to order your food, you, as much as what you want, your pocket can afford it. You go ahead and order that and enjoy your meal. Why? Because somebody has connected with you right from the door and giving you an attention, showing you are important. And so, in the early years parent coaching program, we help you create that, give your child that attention um um while creating connection. And not just about the daily tools. We There is weekly webinars like this, but it's exclusive for the parents of the group. And then we give you a free journal where you write about your interactions with your child. And not just that, we also give you another journal where you journal for your children. This is not common, right? Yes. Journaling for your children is not common. And I can tell you, I started journaling for my children, the three of them, last year. Okay. Before then, I was only journaling for myself. But then I got to the point where I knew that aside taking pictures with my children, aside snapping them at strategic points in their life, keeping a daily journal with them is one memory that pictures cannot give them. And it's one thing I want them to look up to tomorrow and have an understanding of what their childhood was like and understand some patterns that in older years they'll be able to connect with it. So, and aside that, we also, well, being in a community of parents who have children within the same age range opens your eyes to what is happening in other homes, how they are taking care of things going on, and what you can learn from it. It's a whole lot with books that we read, parenting books that we read to prepare your mind and put you through things that you never knew about before now in parenting and all of that. So you really want to be in that early years parent coaching program. The reviews from parents who were in the first cohort that I had last year is something that is mind blowing. One of the parents had said that she thought her child was the problem all the while, but she has understood that it's not the child, it's been her. And you don't want to know all of the changes she has made to accommodate the child and, you know, build a bond and give the child the attention she needs to thrive. You want to be in the group. And if you want to know the details about that, I'm going to drop my contacts um, in the comment section of this video, just in case you can't reach me on my personal line. You can reach out to the number or follow me on Instagram at the Explainer Parent Academy and on Facebook at Chioma Okoli. Okay, all right. So I was thinking about how you encourage your child to misbehave by not being emotionally intelligent. Okay. And I was saying that it is said that it takes 2 seconds for you to take control of the environment you are in or your response to the next thing in your environment. And as small as 2 seconds is, it is significant in areas that 2 seconds would mean a lot. And you agree with me that there are times when that 2 seconds can be the difference between life and death in some instances. And so the way you react to your child's misbehavior, the way you respond to your child's misbehavior is very important to the cues your child is picking out, to the reactions your child is picking up, to the attitudes your child is going to give you and the next person, and a whole lot of things. And so emotional intelligence is not something that we can gamble around or something we can do anyhow, and all of that. So it's key. When you are not emotionally intelligent, you can sabotage a lot of your good intentions on the altar of lack of knowledge or lack of emotional intelligence. All right. So the fifth one is absence of routines and schedules. So nothing is predictable. Your child don't know when to go to bed. Your child don't know when to play outside. Your child don't know when to wake up. Yes, your child don't know when to wake up. I have a 4-year old, and both during the weekdays and weekends, it's as if the alarm has it's as if the clock, his circadian reading has been regulated to an extent that once it is 5:36 a.m., he's awake. And if he gets up and feels that, because he sleeps in a different room, if he wakes up and feels that every other person is not awake, he can go from room to room, or he'll just go use the bedroom. And if he will still wants to sleep, he will just lie down, but you know that he's close to wakefulness. And some other times he will just come to me or go to the auntie and say, I want to brush my teeth and stuff like that. Why? Because we've developed the routine, the bedtime routine in my house, such that they know when to go to bed. They know when it is time to go and sleep. And so having schedules for your children is something that will help them, that will help you first before helping them not to misbehave. Because if a child knows, if I come back from school and I have assignments, the first thing is to drop my bag, remove my uniform, wash my hands, and then come and do my assignments. That you will not have problem with the child playing outside when an assignment has not been tidied. You get the advantage of having a routine now, or your child knows that after doing my assignment, the next thing is to go to the kitchen and wash plates. Now, this is the routine in my home. My son usually do not eat food when he comes back from school because he's full from the one he took in school. And recently, he even stopped taking food in the morning because he says he's not hungry and it's fine. So his routine is not come back, eat, or come back, sleep. So he comes back, removes his uniform, washes his hand, and if there is assignment, we'll get right into the assignment. If there is no assignment, then we'll go straight to the kitchen to wash plates or do any other activity we want before they go out to play outside in the evening around 4:30, 5 p.m., or fetch water or do anything. Probably play with their 5-month-old sibling and all of that. But having routines and schedules for your children will not just prevent them from doing things you don't want them to do at the same time, to do at a particular time, but it also give them the independence to know that this is the next thing I should do. And even if you're not talking about them, they can tell you, mommy or daddy or whoever, this is what, can we do this now? And all of that. And it reduces burden on you. Come on now. Who doesn't want things easy? So having a routine is first for you, a routine or schedule is first for you before your child. Okay. And it's one of the things that will help you do in the early years coaching program. The next cohort is starting in May. All right. So this is March, right? You have April and May to pay for the next 3 months that it will hold. The next 3 months that's going to be at the cost of 15,000 naira. It's just 5,000 naira per month. 5,000 naira per month, but you pay in bulk so that once we start to know that everybody is onboarded and we are running until the finish of the cohort. It's an annual program anyway, so it's not like we finish the first 3 months and we'll stop. We'll finish and then we'll continue again. And so this is to allow people flexible payment and all of that, right? So you want to be in that coaching program. You really want to be there. Now, what do you do instead? I've said the things that you could be doing that is making your child to misbehave. So the question is, so what do I have to do going forward? I'm going to tell you. Just stay with me. The first one is, in the face of misbehavior, pause whatever it is you're doing and look at your child's face. Remember, I said one of the reasons your child is misbehaving is because you're not taking the cues on the face, right? You're not taking the cues from the facial expression your child is wearing. So, in the face of misbehavior, can you stop what you're doing and look at your child? I do it a lot. And sometimes when you're looking at the child, You're able to tell when, like the instance I gave, you're able to tell when your child wants school, but when your child wants cup but is saying school. Look at your child's face. Don't just be doing what you're doing and you're saying, if I get to you there, if I come there, I'll slap you, or if I come there, I'll wipe you cord. And whatever it is that you say. The day my son said that if I wipe your cord, I was like, where did they get that from? He told me the name of the of the classmate that says that. I'm like, why would an adult tell a child if I wipe your cord? But then that's not the conversation we're having now. Pause what you're doing. Forget about all of the threats. If I come there, I'll slap you. I won't take you to ShopRite. I won't buy you ice cream. I won't buy you popcorn. Stop all of those. Can you just pause what you're doing and look at the child, especially when you can? If you're driving on the way, it will be difficult to stop and look at your child's face. But where you can, if it's your phone you're pressing, can you drop? If you're cooking, can you turn off the gas if you have to, so that what you're cooking will not burn? And look at the child's face. It will give you a lot of meaning into why what is happening, and then you know what to do. Sometimes my son or my daughter will just be doing one thing, and you look at the child, you know that the child just needs attention. I'll say, do you want to take a hug? They will say yes. I'll come and take a hug. You hug the child for like 30 seconds, and the child, it kind of breathes in and breathes out, and it's like it's as if nothing happened, and everybody is fine. You go back to what you're doing, they go back to what they are doing. Or sometimes I just say, do you want us to sing? Or do you want us to dance? Or do you want us to paint? Or just something to show the child that I see you, I recognize you. You may not have 30 minutes to give, but you can spend 2 minutes, gather the crayon and the coloring book and say, okay, I'd really like to continue coloring with you, but can you go on? Let me go and tidy what I'm doing. I'll be back. And the child will know that, oh, I am recognized. My mommy or my daddy knows I am here, and all of that. So the next thing is ask your child what it is they want you to do, or listen to their cues so you can understand what it is they actually want. So when I met my child standing in the bedroom this morning, I knew something was wrong. And I had to ask, what is it? Instead of backing, what are you doing in the bedroom? Are you not supposed to be in the room wearing your clothes? Yeah. You're not supposed to be at the dining eating your food. You want to be late to school? That's the way we do it now, right? At least the average person. Sorry, I've left that WhatsApp group. And yes, I have left. So if you want to leave, please come with me. Right? That WhatsApp group is chaotic. You don't want to remain there. You really need to come out. First, for your health, before we talk about your child's emotional and the social being and all of that. Okay? So you want to really ask your child, what is the problem? Or what do you want me to do for you? Or how do you want me to help you? And something like that. And when your child is done speaking, you can reinforce. When you need something, you ask for it. Or when you're having a conflict with somebody and you can't settle it, talk to an adult, talk to another adult, or something like that. And so we've so used talk to an adult in my house that when my daughter wants to be really silly, she will say, and she wants somebody, another person attention, she'll say, adult, adult. And I'm like, who is adult here? Like, you don't know my name, or you don't know the name of your aunt or your daddy. But then that is it. At least they know that there are times you should call an adult when you're encountering problem or difficult or something like that. All right. Then the third thing is, was there a previous you could check back, was there a previous conflict that was not settled? Remember what I said about not providing closure being the reason for a child's misbehavior. So you want to ask yourself, was there something that happened that I didn't settle well? Probably your child is now misbehaving because he or she wants closure that you didn't give prior. And if it's closure the child wants, go ahead and give the child closure. Yes. All right. Then the next thing is um for reasons of misbehavior coming from emotional unintelligence, the only solution is to seek emotional intelligence, seek knowledge. Yeah, seek knowledge, pay for courses, learn what the coaches have to tell you, and run with it. Most times, those things will help you much more than the money you're paying for it. And when you encounter a good coach, you know that I'm telling you the truth. In the things you're deficient in, the knowledge you're deficient in, pay money and learn. The job the good it will do to you outweighs the money you feel what any coach is going to make from that. All right. Then the next thing is create routines and schedules. In my house, we have weekday schedules, I mean weekday routines, and we have weekend routines. And I cannot tell you how much of a help that has been to us. So you, even if you wake up late or you wake up early, nobody is confused. We know what it is that is the next thing. It is written, it is pasted. So it's not like I'm the only one who has it in my head, and so I'll not have to back it out as order to other people. Everybody has access to where it is. So if you don't remember, go and check. It has time attached. So you know that in the morning, this is what is supposed to happen. In the evening, it is the other one. In the afternoon, it's the other one. At night, this is when we go to bed. This is when we pray. This is when we go to brush our teeth for the night after dinner. Or this is when we journal and all of that. And can I tell you what? These routines, especially if you're physically and emotionally present for your child, is one of the easiest way to build connection with your child. And let me tell you one thing we don't know about is the connection app is not connection as a buzzword. Connection is important. A child you're well connected to, you have a lot to gain from those connection moments, because for any reason you say, for any time that attention or that connection moment is taken away, even your child will feel it and the child will ask for it. So it provides the right way, the right attachment form between a child and the parents. I want to be that parent who has good attachment with the child. Okay. All right. So this is where we come to the end of today's Monday Live. And I hope you've been able to pick a thing or two, right? Thank you so much for the persons that were able to join live. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your presence. Okay, so if you have any question, please feel free to drop in the comment section. And hey, did I tell you there is the dealing with tantrum slash misbehavior in early years course for parents with children within the ages of 0 to 6 coming up by the end of the month. It's starting on the 28th and end will be ending on the 30th of March. It's just for 5,000 naira. It's just for 5,000 naira. If your child has been in school, you want to come, want to enroll for that course and also enroll your child's teacher, because how tantrums and misbehaviors are managed in the early years can be an advantage or disadvantage to your child. And so, if you mishandle it, you're leaving windows for your child to gather tantrum, to gather traumas and gather, you know, misconceptions about things. I am one person who hated waking up early for years. Yes, in fact, I'm not sure it's up to 2 years that I started telling myself that, guy, you need to be waking up early. It's for your own good. Why do I hate waking up early so badly? Because growing up, my mother was one person who enforced waking up early. I cannot be in my house and it's 6 o'clock and you're not awake. 6 a.m., you're still sleeping. Ah, you're so wrong. Just pray my mother is not around, because you receive water baptism on your bed if she calls you for 2 or 3 times and you don't come out. But then I didn't understand why my sleep would have to be disturbed. I wasn't explained. It wasn't explained to me. I wasn't given the opportunity to ask questions. I wasn't given the opportunity to own waking up early myself. And that's why learning how to manage tantrums and misbehavior is important. These are things that will happen as often as they will. But what you do when they occur is important. And that's what I want to teach you. So that you don't. Okay. Another thing is, recently I was talking to my niece and I said, I, I now know why I hate saying the rosary. I was born a Catholic, raised a Catholic, married a Catholic, and still won. But I hated saying the rosary. I told my niece that I remember now. Why? Because it's also connected to waking up early in the morning. Sometimes you're just trying to, catch the last phase of your sleep, and somebody is beating you or pouring you water. Wake up, let us say the rosary. Wake up, let us say the rosary. And so I associated saying the rosary with disturbing my sleep, with something that comes with yells and basbos. I mean, early morning, that's It's supposed to be the softest moment of the day. Somebody is harassing me for still sleeping, and somebody is harassing me to come and say the rules. And so saying the rules was something I really keep it away from me. And into adulthood, I think it was this month I was telling my niece, now I know why. And that was because I was saying I was saying the rules with my children. And my son said, Mommy, you're wasting time. And I laughed. I laughed because if I had said that to my own parents, they would have scheduled me for a deliverance immediately. Okay, so there is just so much to uncover with knowing how to handle misbehavior and tantrum in early years. And you want to be in that class to learn how to. All right. And so if you watched up to this moment and you like what you heard and you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that each time we go live or upload a video, you will know. And if you like what you just heard, do not forget to like. If you have any question, drop your comment in the comment section, share the videos and share the video, and we'll see you again next week, Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. And I am once again Choma Okoli, the founder of the Expectant Parent Academy. Do have an amazing day and enjoy the rest of the week.